Today we're going to unpack Trading 212. For those of you that are new to investing, Trading 212 has likely been on your list, and because you're investing your hard-earned cash, you need to feel comfortable making this decision. That's why we're going to do a live walkthrough showcasing the app in all of its glory, running through its key features such as the pies, socials and communities, alongside the investment options and account types. Now, full disclosure, I've been a Trading 212 user for over 12 months before making this review, so you can safely say that I know a thing or two about the app. Now, what drew me to it initially was that it's commission free, it's regulated by the FCA and has FSCS protection, meaning if they go bust, your account is safe up to the value of £85,000. But whilst those things are certainly important, what I came to find is that Trading 212 has a lot more going for it, and when comparing it to the best investing apps on the market right now, it's in our top 3 alongside eToro and Invest Engine. But let's crack on and have a quick look around the app. So when you log in, you land on your portfolio screen. This is an overall performance of how well your portfolio is doing. Now, I'm using my sister's account for this video. Because she just opened it, it's much easier for you to show you around, and mine's just a mishmash of free shares and it will just look a little bit confusing. So you can scroll down here. She's got a couple of holdings. She's got the Temple Bar Investment Fund and the Vanguard FTSE All World Fund. Now, you can fiddle around with the lamps to see how well your portfolio has been performing. You see the big free shares button at the top. You can refer friends too, so usually up to 5 per campaign, and they run this every couple of months, and both you and your mates can get a free share when they sign up. Now, I've been using this quite a lot, hence why I'm not using my account today. Sorry mates, I may have rinsed the WhatsApp groups. There's also the investing tabs and pies there too. Now, more on the pies later, as they're a wicked little feature. But first up, I want to dive into the account type. So we're going to navigate to the little orange button in the top left. Now, Trading 212 offers 3 account types. The first is a stocks and shares ISA. In the UK, this account means that you can invest up to £20,000 tax-free each tax year. Your profits from your investments, your interest and your dividends you receive, they're not subject to what's called capital gains tax. If you've not got an ISA already and are just getting started, then for me, this is the account that you want. But lastly, if you do have one, you can only invest inside one stocks and shares ISA per tax year, so just be wary of that. Next up, you have the investment account. Essentially, this is just another name for a GIA or a general investment account, as they're also known. They have exactly the same functions that the ISA provides, however, it is subject to capital gains tax on profits in the 23-24 tax year above £6,000. It doesn't, however, have the same 20k limit, so if you're fine with those tax implications and are looking to invest larger sums, then the invested account is for you here. For me though, always max out your ISA first, as nobody likes paying extra tax and they don't have to. Lastly, you also have a CFD account. Now, due to the high risk nature of CFDs, we're going to skip past this because it's not something I think a beginner should be exploring. Personally, I don't even look at it myself, and I'm not even planning to at all in my investing career. Now, at any point in the video, if you think, yeah, Trading 212 is for me, then I've left you a free share worth up to £100 when you deposit £1 into a Trading 212 account in the description just below. If you've set up an account in the last 10 days already, don't worry if you didn't get your free share. You can also navigate down to the 3 lines, scroll down to promo code, enter gains into the box, and you'll get your free share paid to you. Right, next up, I'm going to show you how you can find stocks and funds to invest in. Trading 212 has over 10,000 options, so you'd have to be going after some pretty obscure companies to not actually find what you want here. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can find these assets, either via the home button, which brings up a selection of lists. This one is US greats with all of the big boys in there, Apple, Tesla and Microsoft. But as we scroll across, you can see things like top movers. You've got my watch list, so you can add anything you like to there, your own watch list essentially, top winners and lots more. Or another way is via the magnifying glass or search function. Again, there are a bunch of lists here, so there are different stocks, but there are also thematic lists, so things like big tech, banks and electric cars. Plus there's a trending tab with top movers, so the highest winners and losers, and also Trading 212, what's new to it too. There's lots of lists there. Plus there's a very nice selection of ETFs too from the biggest providers in the world like Vanguard and iShares by BlackRock. For me, this is really important to have on there, and investing in funds like the Vanguard FTSE All World and the Vanguard S&P 500 alongside the other funds too makes Trading 212 really attractive for me. You've also got shares by region and a wide variety of lists available too, so there is lots to choose from. As you can see though, as we're moving around the app is super visual, really quick and easy to get around, which I like. They've put a lot of effort into the user experience. So let's click into one of these stocks to show you how it actually works, and we can place a live trade too. I'm going to come up to the region and head to the UK's biggest, as the UK UK stock market is open right now whilst I'm recording, so we can get some live prices. Now I'm going to scroll across and pick Tesco because every little helps and all of that. So this is what it actually looks like when you're on an individual asset. You've got the stock price and it's got the current price versus yesterday. It's got the big buy button, a market open or indeed if it's closed, and you've got the big chart there, the 1 day now, but if you can change that to a month, 3 months, a year, or to max 2, so you can really see past performance of that asset. Below there is price alerts, which I think is actually really handy. If you're looking to get in at a lower price, you could set that up manually or get alerted by a push notification when, say, the asset drops 1, 2 or 10%. This is really important if you're looking to sell also at a certain price, or indeed if you just actually want to cash out at a profit too. Below this you've got some key info and stats, which is super useful when you're doing your homework on that asset. There's a day range, 52-week range too of the stock price to give you an overview of where the current price is sitting. You've got the key ratio section, you've got a market cap PE ratio and dividend yield there too. So Tesco's is actually kicking out a 4.04% dividend yield. So that's actually pretty good. There's also a deeper dive into some of the finances to do with income statements, balance sheets and cash flow. It's not as extensive as you'll find on some of the other apps, but really useful to check how that company is performing before you invest. Like, you wouldn't want to see that trending downwards and the company's taking on a truckload of debt. Tesco actually looks like a pretty solid business on the surface here. There's also an about there too. Now for me, I'd like to see an article section integrated here, so I want to read the latest analyst predictions and company updates without having to hop over onto Yahoo Finance or Google. It's not a deal breaker for me here, but hopefully on the cards in the production line. So that's the stock page, but what is it actually like buying a stock? So we've come back up to buy and we're going to dive now into the market, and that is essentially the price that it's at right now. So if I place that trade, it executes it immediately at that price. Next up on the list is a limit order. Now that works is if, say, the current price here for Tesco, it looks around 270 pence, but if I don't want to pay that and I think I'm going to get it in at, say, 250 pence for example, you could select the number of shares that you want to buy, so scroll up to 1 there, and then below that you've got the price that you want to pay, so you're going to put 250 in this case. Then underneath that you've got the expiration date, so it's set to never, but you can have this at the end of the day if you want to. But obviously, if 270 to 250 price decrease could happen in 1 day, but quite unlikely. So if you're doing 1 day, you probably want to have that a bit closer. Up to you though. You can use this to hopefully get a better price than what the current stock market is pricing that asset at. There are other options there called stop and stop limit, but as a beginner investor, you really don't need these tools. You're going to learn more about these hopefully before you use them, but for the sake of this video, it's not something I'm going to dive deep into. So let's go and buy some Tesco stock live so you can see how easy it is. Now we're going to head back to the market and select £10. You can change this value to the number of shares if you want to in the middle there, but for me, value is much easier as every asset is different. So in this case, £10 gets me 3.65 shares. That's not bad. I'm going to hit review at the bottom there, and it brings up a page which is just the overview of that purchase. As you can see, I'm buying UK shares, so there's a 5p stamp duty, but this all looks good to me. Let's place this order. In some cases, it can take a few minutes for this to go through, but that is literally it. It should be on your portfolio right away, and look at that, you're now an investor. So now you know how to find and invest in assets. You need to actually put some funds into your account. Now really simply, you just head down to the 3 dots at the bottom and hit the big blue button that says deposit funds. As you can see, you can do an instant bank transfer, which uses the technology TrueLayer and connects directly to a range of UK banks. Super easy if you have the banking app on your phone too, and it's actually very safe. Now you can also bank transfer in, but this can take up to 2 working days. You also have card options as well as the ability to pay in Apple Pay too. It's very easy and quick to get money into your account and start investing. So let's navigate back to the portfolio. You can see Tesco is already in there. Now look at the allocations of my portfolio. They're split up for me. So this is how my money is allocated across my assets. For me, this is amazing to see as it helps me provide a visual overview of what my portfolio is doing. Now I'm going to go onto the Trading 212 pies, which for me as a beginner is one of the best features you could possibly have on an investing app, and it's one of the best I've seen for a long time. Now I'm going to click on there and create a pie, and we're going to do this together. So with the pies, what you're doing is essentially picking stocks, and you can even add ETFs and create your desired own allocations there. So you can have lots of different pies if you want, or you can just have one. So let's create one now. Now I'm going to select Tesla. I'm going to add that to the pie. I'm going to add Microsoft. You can see the bottom there, the symbols are starting to add up. I'm going to add a couple more companies to this. So Meta, an Alphabet, yeah, McDonald's. Okay, then I'm going to hit the arrow down on the bottom right there. Now you can see this is evenly split across all of the 5 allocations, but I could have added hundreds in there if I really wanted to. Now I'm going to drag Tesla, for example, up to 40%, but you're going to see there that it's actually changed the allocation to 120%. So I'm going to need to reduce that allocation down across the others. So let's bring that back down to 100%. Cool. Okay, now we're back at 100%. Now you can have a play with this and getting the allocation right that you're happy with. It's essentially allowing you to create your very own funds, which I think is really, really cool. So let's hit next. You can see you can auto invest into this too. So you can do that based on a schedule that you're happy with, or you can do it manually. Now I'm going to do auto invest each month. Now you've got a really cool value projection based on the amount that you're actually invested in a number of years. Now have a play around with that and find the amount and time frame that actually works for you. There's everything on there from daily, weekly, monthly, and even specific days of the month too. Now you can play around with those amounts and it really does affect the value prediction of that graph. Really cool feature. And once you're happy there, just hit next and you can name the pie whatever you like and you're away. Now I'm not going to finalize this just now, so I'm going to come out, but it's literally that easy to set up a pie. If you've enjoyed this video this far, remember there's a free share worth up to £100 available with the promo code GAINS, or just by clicking the link below, it will do it for you automatically. Next up, I want to show you the social feed. By clicking into this takes us to the pies section. You can see all of the different pies that people have created. You can also copy over that pie into your own portfolio and invest in it too, if you like the look of it. When that person updates their own pie, you can either apply that update or stick to the current setup that the pie is in when you invest in it. Really interesting feature for me, and I really like how this gets you involved with other people. Now there's also a feed section where you can set up a public profile, leave updates and interact with other investors, liking and commenting just like you do on social media. There's a community section too where you can join and partake in different communities and have conversations with other investors on the platform. Now if you're a beginner, then before you go and start trading, you're going to want to watch our video on how to invest your first £1,000. This video is handy for those getting started and includes the strategies that I use to go from beginner to over a 6-figure portfolio. So be sure to click on that video right now and get your investing strategy sorted before you start diving in. And we'll see you on the next video.